travel down the Death Star trench, eliminating as many laser cannons as possible. If the trench guns stop firing, you can bet the Death Star's complement of TIEs will be in close pursuit. Continue down the trench until you reach the exhaust port area. Good luck, and may the Force be with you.
So this is actually the second of the 2 bonus missions, or the second of 3 bonus missions that we've got ahead of us. The Death Star Trench Run. You remember I said in the introductory episode of this Let's Play that Factor 5 couldn't draw any material directly from the films. Well, they decided to throw in a couple of bonus missions that do draw material directly from the films, this being the first one. The trench run looks very different in this than it does in the movie, mostly because rather than emulate the movie, which would have made for a somewhat boring level considering you're just flying straight ahead, they emulate one of the older Star Wars arcade games where you have to do the same thing, and there's lots of twists and turns in the canyon, there's lots more guns and everything to dodge, there's stuff everywhere. You'll see. Let's go ahead and jump in. Obviously, we can only be the X-Wing considering we're playing as Luke, and we got to blow this shebang up.
Look at the size of that thing.
Cut the chatter. Wedge, hold them off as best you can. Rogues, we're gonna have company real soon.
So this mission is basically a gauntlet. You want to fly through the entire trench as fast as you can, destroying all of the defensive guns on the way. You can safely ignore the TIEs until later on. Even though they are going to take pot shots at you, and they are fairly accurate, they won't hit you with they generally won't hit you with more than a burst. And as long as you don't run into anything, you're not going to die. At least not until the trench guns decide to, the trench gunners decide to get their coffee in their system and actually start shooting at you. So it's like every turn you're going to encounter a difficulty spike, as well as a new horde of TIEs to worry about. The tower guns take a lot more hits than the regular guns do. There are TIE fighters that you can shoot down to get a few extra kills, but they aren't generally that big of an issue. You're gonna have a lot of allies in here. You're gonna end up losing most of them simply because they are trying to emulate the movie, where almost everybody gets shot down except Luke. Like I said, there are TIEs everywhere. Unfortunately, Darth Vader does not make an appearance. They don't even have a model for his ship. So you're basically just going to be fighting off regular TIE fighters, considering the TIE interceptors hadn't been conceptualized yet. So it gets a little repetitive and a little boring. Generally, this mission itself was done much better in Rogue Squadron 2. But, it's not... For a bonus mission, there's not really that much to complain about. It's fun for 1 or 2 run-throughs. It's not exactly hard, but then again, it's not meant to be. You're just, reliving parts of the movies. You have a MIDI version of some of the music from the actual movie, which is actually really good. That's one of the things they did really well in this game was MIDI versions of the score from actual movies. You can pop up and take some TIEs down to try to save some of your buddies, but like I said before, it's mostly an exercise in futility. You're going to want to save at least 1 proton torpedo for the end. Spoilers. But you're gonna want to use a couple of them on these defensive guns, and yeah, Han's back as well, obviously.
Well, what are you doing here?
And you may notice that most of the voice work in this level I'm talking over because it's all just reused It's all reused from earlier levels, except for 1 or 2 choice lines. It's really, you can tell that they kind of put this one together a little bit more hastily than most of the levels in this game, which is kind of a shame. I think this, like I said, this mission was done much better in Rogue Squadron 2 when they actually had permission to use, missions from the movies as a central part of the game. They had a lot more time and authorization to work on it. Okay, here's the end of the trench. There's defensive guns all over the place here, which is a great way to work on getting your kills up a little bit. Because the kill count for this, despite the fact that most of the enemies are easily dodged, you're going to want to get your kill count somewhat semi-high. So, and then around the 40 to 50 range, you can go ahead and use a proton torpedo. What you got to do is you want to lock onto that thing on the floor there, and then you should just be able to launch 1 and the mission will be over. There we go. Ah, bronze. This mission is somewhat difficult to gold. It does, for something that seems so scattershot, you have to, the main thing of it is that you have to do it fast and you have to do it accurately, which basically means you have to go through as fast as you can, taking out just the defensive guns, ignoring the TIE fighters completely. And, you know, even then, I think the actual requirements for gold, accurate, enemy-wise, is around 35, if that. So I killed 8 more enemies than I needed to. I could have completely ignored the TIEs and missed a couple of the guns and still gotten a gold, as long as I did it fast. It's probably around 3 minutes that you want to complete this mission. You'll see, obviously, gold medal run to come, and I will see you all next time on Let's Play Star Wars Rogue Squadron with a final bonus level and the end of the game. Good night, folks.